That down? Let's get things going here with this, shall we? You know, Chris Evans is now coming out and saying that he is actually confirming he is not going to be in Avengers Doomsday. Now, of course, the Marvel Cinematic Universe took a real hit when Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr., you know, Captain America, Steve Rogers, Iron Man, Tony Stark, literally the heart and the soul of the MCU, literally the faces of the MCU, their characters kind of wrapped up and came to an end. And the MCU has struggled a little bit. I mean, they've had some big hits, some big wins, but they've also struggled a little bit, particularly in finding their identity, because these two guys were literally the guys that gave it its identity. And now we know, of course, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back, and there have been reports, like real reports that we talked about on the show, that Chris Evans is going to be returning, but it might not be until Secret Wars, because he's now confirming he's not in Doomsday. This comes from the folks at Screen Rant, who were doing an interview for The Minimalist, or The Materialist, I should say, asked him about. They said, I know you're not going to confirm or deny anything with Avengers related, but I will ask now that Downey and the Russos are coming back. As friends outside of as colleagues, have you talked to them since they signed the dotted line? To which Evan says, yeah, I talk to them all the time. It's where Pedro is right now. I mean, because of course, Pedro Pascal is in The Materialist with Chris Evans. I mean, it's sad to be away. It's sad not to be back with the band, but I'm sure they're going to do something incredible. And I'm sure it's going to be that much harder when it comes out and you feel like you weren't invited to the party. Okay, so that's Chris Evans. And of course, he's gone on to mention that, yeah, it's just to be clear, I'm not in Avengers Doomsday. All right, so that leaves us with 3 possible scenarios. Scenario number 1, he's lying. For the record, I don't think he's lying. It kind of makes sense that maybe he wouldn't be in this way. But anyway, that is one option, that he is lying. Option number 2 is that he is literally just done with the MCU and he's not going to be back, despite the fact that he was just in a Marvel film with Deadpool and Wolverine. But maybe that he is just actually done. So option number 1, he's lying about not being in Doomsday. Option number 2, he's actually out. Option number 3 is the one that I think is most likely here, which is, sure, he's not in Doomsday, but he'll be in Secret Wars. I do believe, because it was one of the major trades that kind of broke that he was going to be signing on to come back, although I don't think they specified it was going to be Doomsday. So, Rob, 2 different things. I believe Chris Evans when he says he's not in Doomsday, but I also believe he will be back for Secret Wars. At least I can't confirm that. I don't have any inside sources, but that's what I think is happening here. So let me ask you, which of those 3 scenarios do you think is most likely? And how important or not important is it for the MCU at this point where they're at to have a Chris Evans come back?
You know, I think it's a Jimmy Fallon clip where Tom Holland he comes back to be on Jimmy Fallon for some reason, and Jimmy Fallon says, you know, you lied to me about Spider-Man No Way Home. And Tom Holland makes the point, well, I didn't really lie to you. You know, at the time, even though I had lunch with them today, I had lunch with Toby and Andrew when I told you that. I don't believe anything anybody says about the MCU, because right now I could say that Chris Evans isn't in Doomsday, but that doesn't mean that tomorrow he won't be, you know? And so I just think that I think it's very iterative, probably like the making of both of these movies are going to be. So John, I think that there's a possibility that Chris Evans is absolutely telling the truth. He's not in Doomsday today, but who knows what's going to happen, because if they are writing the script as they go and they're changing things as they go, making things better as they go, maybe Captain Hydra will show up. Maybe Peggy Carter will show up. But I think right now, maybe Chris Evans believes that he's not in Avengers Doomsday.
And going on to the other point, though, about, you know, his role in the MCU, about how he was one of the pieces of the heart and soul, the face of the MCU. Good move to bring him back right now, or maybe a better move just to say, hey, we've moved on, leave it there. Like, what's the key here for that?
Here's the thing that's kind of bothered me about phases 4, 5, and 6. One of the things that I thought that was really interesting was at the end of Endgame, you had Old Man Steve there, you know, and they never told us what happened to Old Man Steve. Somebody mentioned he's on the moon or something. I mean, why haven't we seen Old Man Steve again? Steve Rogers is still in the MCU, right? Or did he use the stones to go back to Peggy Carter to live his life out unless she passed away already? I mean, he's there as Old Man Steve. And, you know, you'd think that they could. Old Man Steve has invaluable insight that he jumped through time to the modern age, that went back in time and saw the entire modern age develop and caught up with where he was supposed to be. So he could be an interesting character as Old Man Steve. And I'm surprised that they've never, like, how do you not have Old Man Steve in Brave New World? How does Anthony Mackie not still be in touch with Cap and ask him about being Cap?
Because he's on the moon.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said he's on the moon, but that doesn't mean they can't, like, have a video call or something. I mean, it seems so strange to me that the Old Man Steve is a dangling plot element. It's not like he died.
What was the name of the story run where it's in the future? You got an old Steve Rogers and then you have Tony Stark's son has fallen under the influence of Dr. Doom, but he doesn't even realize it's Dr. Doom. And now old Steve Rogers is trying to stop Doom and Tony's son.
Yeah,
I can't remember the name of that story. So I don't know. Maybe if they brought him in like that, they could do something like that. Like, I don't know.
And I think that, you know, there's a reason they keep saying, though, well, you know, there's more people to come. There's more chairs to come. Maybe they haven't even, they know he's going to come, but they haven't approached him yet. Like, what's he going to say? I mean, the less leaks, potential leaks they have, the better. They know he has a movie coming out with Pedro Pascal. We're not going to have you being Captain America when we know you're going to be asked about this. No way. So they'll bring him in, you know, later.
We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Stitch Fix. Guys, you know I love movies, but you also know I have absolutely no fashion sense, and I absolutely hate shopping for my clothes. But thankfully, I have found a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. With Stitch Fix, I get a stylist who understands my style, size, and budget, and they do all the shopping for me. Because look, shopping and figuring out style can be overwhelming, especially for somebody like me. When it comes to getting dressed, I don't even know where to start, to be honest. That's why I love having a Stitch Fix stylist. They really know what works for me. I get pieces that make me look great, and it's a real confidence boost. You just give your stylist your size, style, and budget preferences. You get to order boxes when you want and how you want, no subscription required. They send you personalized pieces, and the fit is always on point. No stores, no crowds, no stress. Just personalized looks that you will love. So guys, make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Campea. That's stitchfix.com/Campea. All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Chris Evans is saying he's definitively not in Avengers Doomsday. I tend to believe him, but I still expect to see him in Secret Wars. What do you think it is? Do you think he's going to be in one, the other, neither, both? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.